Item Number SCP-Y-046. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Due to the spontaneous and unpredictable nature of SCP-Y-046 manifestations, full containment is impossible. Instead, containment efforts focus on information suppression, monitoring affected individuals, and enforcing strict behavioral protocols for those exposed to the anomaly. Individuals identified as having witnessed SCP-Y-046 must immediately be relocated to a secure observation facility for psychological evaluation and instruction on survival protocols. Witnesses are strictly prohibited from verbalizing or acknowledging any aspect of the reflected realm to others. All locations where SCP-Y-046 abduction events occur, particularly in public spaces, must be quarantined and sanitized. Witnesses to these incidents are to be administered Class C amnestics, and media coverage must be suppressed through Foundation front organizations. Reflective surfaces in high-traffic areas of Foundation sites are to be monitored for anomalous activity. Any sudden deviations in reflections, including time desynchronization, unrecognized figures, or shifts in lighting consistency, must be reported immediately to containment personnel. Description: SCP-Y-046, designated the Reflected Realm, is an anomalous plane of existence that lies beyond the surface of reflective materials, such as mirrors, windows, and still bodies of water. It appears identical to baseline reality, but is populated by enigmatic, disturbing entities, designated SCP-Y-046-1. Individuals who spend prolonged periods closely examining reflections may, at an undetermined threshold, become attuned to SCP-Y-046. The exact requirements remain unclear, but individuals who frequently admire their own reflection, scrutinize mirrored environments for extended durations, or otherwise fixate on reflections, seem to be at the highest risk. Once affected, these individuals will begin to perceive SCP-Y-046 within reflective surfaces, often without warning. Upon their initial exposure, affected individuals will notice that the reflection does not perfectly match their actions. Instead, their reflection, now an instance of SCP-Y-046-1, will behave erratically. Common behaviors of SCP-Y-046-1 instances include delayed or desynchronized mirroring of the observer's movements, unnatural distortions in facial features, such as eyes positioned too close together or far apart, excessively wide grins, an elongated neck or limbs, sagging skin, a gray complexion, independent motion, wherein the reflection moves even when the observer remains still, staring directly at the observer, ignoring expected movements, and maintaining eye contact. Sudden disappearance, leaving only the background reflected in the surface. Once an individual has seen the reflected realm, they are permanently attuned to it. From that moment forward, all reflective surfaces will show SCP-Y-046 instead of normal reflections. No known method has been discovered to reverse this attunement. Some individuals are merely observed by Y-046-1 instances, without further incident. However, in more dangerous cases, Y-046-1 actively engages with the observer, attempting to provoke a reaction. The ultimate goal of these entities appears to be tricking individuals into acknowledging them. If an individual outwardly reacts, whether through fear, verbal acknowledgement, or attempting to flee, they face the risk of being abducted into SCP-Y-046. Witnesses to SCP-Y-046 abductions describe victims being violently yanked or dragged into reflective surfaces. The event is instantaneous, with no physical residue or trace left behind. The abducted individual is permanently removed from baseline reality, though a few rare cases exist where abductees have re-emerged through other reflective surfaces, often heavily injured and psychologically damaged. Survival Protocols. The following message, containing the rules of reflection, must be followed by all affected individuals.
Good morning. If you're hearing this message, then you are safe. You are currently housed within a secure Foundation facility, specifically designed for individuals like yourself, those attuned to SCP-Y-046. You are here because you saw something in the reflections. You are here because your world has changed in ways that few can comprehend, but you are not alone. The SCP Foundation exists to secure, contain, and protect. We safeguard humanity from anomalies that threaten normalcy, ensuring that life continues unimpeded. You are not a prisoner. You are not forgotten. You are here because we can help. For your safety and for the preservation of your well-being, the following rules must be followed at all times. These are the rules of reflection, your guide to survival. Listen carefully. Commit them to memory. They are your best defense against SCP-Y-046-1. Rule 1. Do not react. If your reflection does something unnatural, delays, moves differently, stares directly at you, ignore it. Do not acknowledge the anomaly in any way. Act as though nothing is wrong. Rule 2. Do not break eye contact suddenly. If you need to look away, do so naturally. Let your eyes wander elsewhere, as if adjusting your focus. Rapid movements can provoke them. Rule 3. Do not speak about them aloud while looking into a reflective surface. They do not like being discussed. If you must talk about them, do so away from mirrors, windows, or any reflective material. Rule 4. Do not touch your reflection, ever. No matter what you see, no matter what it does, keep your hands away from the glass. Rule 5. Do not run. If you witness something in the reflection that disturbs you, remain composed. Running confirms to them that you see them, and if they know you see them, they will act. Rule 6. Mimic normal behavior. If you must use a mirror, do so with intent. Adjust your hair, fix your collar, check for dust on your face. Never make direct observations of their behavior. Keep your mind occupied with something mundane. Rule 7. Limit your exposure. Avoid unnecessary interaction with reflective surfaces, particularly in dim lighting. The longer you look, the more likely they are to notice you. Following these rules will allow you to live a normal life. Many of the personnel in this very facility have been attuned to SCP-Y-046 for years and continue their work unharmed by following these precautions. You are not doomed. You are not alone. The Foundation is working tirelessly to find a way to end your attunement. You are not lost to us. You are not abandoned. Hope remains. This message will play again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe. And remember, do not react.
Failure to adhere to these protocols has resulted in numerous documented abduction events. Those who are taken into the reflected realm do not return under normal circumstances. In rare cases where abductees have re-emerged, they exhibit severe physical and psychological trauma. One of the few known survivors of an SCP-Y-046 abduction is an MTF-Zeta-0 Bad Bunch operative who returned through a full-body mirror in a shopping mall after vanishing in the field. Research into the reflected realm remains ongoing, though extreme caution is advised in all interactions. At present, the safest course of action remains ignorance. Affected individuals must behave as though nothing is amiss, lest they risk drawing the Y-046-1 instance's attention. Incident Report Y-46-AB1. Date: October 9th, 2000. Location: New York City, USA. Summary: a high-profile architect, Larry Colden, known for spending excessive time examining reflections in glass structures, as he was privy to building with them, was reported missing from his office. Security footage recovered from his workspace showed Colden standing before a floor-to-ceiling window, his reflection behaving out of sync with his movements. At 02:13 hours, Colden's reflection separated into several disturbing and deformed humanoid entities. Colden visibly recoiled, stepping back and raising a shaking hand to his face. 02:14 hours. His reflection had ceased mimicking him entirely. Instead, the creatures tilted their heads at an unnatural angle, while their features continued to warp drastically into something unrecognizable. 02:15 hours. Without warning, Colden was violently pulled into the glass, his body vanishing in an instant. Employees arriving the next morning found his workspace undisturbed except for a single, palm-sized handprint, pressed into the inside of the glass. But, from within the reflection, the print remained visible for 3 days before fading away. Colden was never found. Incident Report Y-46-AB9. Date: October 12th, 2000. Location: United Kingdom. Summary: a 7-year-old boy, Jenkins, reported to his parents that the boy in the mirror was staring at him even when he wasn't looking. According to the child, his reflection began whispering at night through the mirror in his room, though no external auditory phenomena were detected. For a period, he had been telling his parents that his reflection was unsettling or not following him. 2 days later, he told his mother that the boy in the mirror says I can be like him now, before closing the bathroom door. When his mother attempted to enter the bathroom, she found the door locked. After several minutes of silence, the door unlocked by itself, revealing the bathroom completely empty. The boy had vanished without a trace, but his reflection remained. The Foundation immediately began conducting research into the event. The reflection persisted for another 48 hours, responding to no external stimuli before it simply disappeared. Incident Report Y-46-AB17. Date: November 25th, 2000. Location: a shopping mall in Japan. Summary: a surveillance operator flagged an anomalous event inside a high-end clothing boutique. At 10:32 hours, an employee, Miyazaki, was seen on security cameras inspecting her reflection in a large dressing room mirror. At 10:33 hours, she began moving in an erratic manner, stepping forward and backward as though testing something unseen. By 10:34, her reflection ceased to match her real movements and began smiling widely, while the employee remained expressionless. 10:35 hours. The reflection raised its hand to its lips in a shushing gesture. The employee recoiled and turned to flee. only for her reflection to step out of the mirror and violently seize her. Within a second, she was pulled inside, and the mirror surface rippled before returning to normal. Security arrived within minutes, but found no physical anomalies, only that all mirrors in the store now displayed no reflections whatsoever, which ceased after roughly 1 hour and 15 minutes. The store was shut down under the guise of structural damage, and all security footage was recovered by the Foundation. Incident Report Y-46-AB-24. Date: February 1st, 2000. Location: Massachusetts, USA. Summary: one of the very few cases of an individual successfully escaping SCP-Y-046 was recorded when MTF Zeta-0 Bad Bunch Operative Corporal Damien Holt re-emerged from a mall's mirror section 12 days after he was declared missing. Holt had originally disappeared while investigating a series of anomalous occurrences in Sector M6 of Provisional Reality Y-1, during which his reflection had reportedly acted autonomously, before he was forcibly pulled into a nearby reflective surface. Recovery event. At 0312 hours, a security guard performing a routine walkthrough of mall encountered anomaly class static distortion in the full-body mirrors of a closed department store. Before the guard could react, the glass surface bulged outward and ruptured. Corporal Holt was violently expelled onto the showroom floor, landing in a heap. His body exhibited deep lacerations, burns, and extreme malnutrition. He was holding an object in his left hand that was visible only in his reflections. Medical and psychological evaluation. Holt was rushed to a Foundation medical unit. Upon regaining consciousness, he gave a fractured and unstable account of his time inside SCP-Y-046. The entities. He described SCP-Y-046-1 instances as not just wrong, but hungry. According to Holt, they were aware that humans were not meant to see them, and their primary goal was to ensure that nobody who had ever seen them was able to leave. Spatial Distortions. Holt claimed the reflected realm was not a copy of reality, but a decayed and broken version of it, constantly shifting. He reported experiencing entire cityscapes twisting, collapsing, and reforming in moments. The hand. Holt was adamant that he had severed the hand of one of the SCP-Y-046-1s with his combat knife. No physical evidence of the severed hand existed, except in reflections. Any reflective surface near Holt displayed him holding a grotesque, elongated hand with pulsing green veins and too many fingers. The appendage would twitch and pulse in reflections, but was otherwise intangible. Holt was eventually ordered to drop it inside of a containment vault. Post-recovery notes. Despite extensive testing, no physical evidence of the severed appendage existed outside of reflections. Any mirrored surface still shows Holt with the hand clinging to a random part of his body, and his reflection is permanently distorted, shifting slightly behind reality's timing. Holt has since refused to be near any reflective surfaces, stating that he can still see them watching him. Final notes. SCP-Y-046 remains a rather enigmatic and distressing anomaly. Its unpredictable activation conditions, the horrifying nature of Y-46-1 entities, and the irreversible consequences of exposure make it a uniquely uncontainable yet inescapable threat. Survivors of exposure to SCP-Y-046 must follow strict protocols to avoid further attention, though it remains unclear if escape is ever truly possible. Corporal Holt's warning remains in all Foundation briefings. Do not acknowledge them. Do not react. Do not run. The moment they know you can see them, it's already too late. This is Director Waller, signing off on another report at Site Y-1. I hope you'll consider subscribing to stay up to date with our latest findings. I eagerly look forward to having your audience in future reports.